So, here's why you're all doomed. This is your situation. The putative United States presidential election amounts to this. You're about to help an obscenely rich real estate narcissist or an obscenely rich lesbian Wall Street marionette get elected to the most powerful political position in the country, and you're going to go home from the voting booth happy because you think you've exercised your duty as a citizen. Wrong. Your duty as a citizen doesn't start and stop at the voting booth. It starts when you wake up wondering why all your choices all have to be obscenely wealthy real estate narcissists and obscenely rich lesbian Wall Street marionettes. It starts when you begin looking at yourself and thinking, how stupid am I really? And you begin to see that somewhere behind the funhouse mirror, something funky's going on that you have clearly not actualized. The plan is simple. Every 4 years, some faceless busboy for the Bilderberg Group in a 200-story office tower in Manhattan or Georgetown puts up these 5 or 6 rich lawyers or government stooges or real estate tycoons. Let me and my friends pick 2, then has the motley pair of survivors fight it out using my money till we decide which bum we hate and fear the least. The media, owned by plutocrats who know each candidate personally, spends the next year diverting you with information about the presidential contest that has almost nothing to do with what kind of leader they might be, and everything to do with how many advertisements the various networks can sell while feeding you 120-second dollops of gossip on how many North Korean hookers each candidate slept with and how many of their $30,000 a plate rubber chicken meat the candidate dinners were sponsored by the Man Boy Love Association. Now, whoever scores the brass ring in November, he steps into the Oval Office owing 700 bankers and government puppet masters favors for the next millennium. Since the puppet who wins needs so much money to buy your vote that only rich people can pay its freight. And rich people want something back for their trouble. That's why they have the money. They know how to get stuff. That's why all the new president's friends are likely to be Wall Street robber barons and lobbyists, communist Liberace's from Hollywood, and billionaire real estate developers who salute the flag of Dubai and have the lyrics to the Star-Spangled Banner printed on a 3x5 index card in their wallets in case they go to a football game. Every guy he'll say more than 11 words to for the next 4 years makes more money in a day than I will make in the next 38 years. Given this set of facts, how likely is it that the next president of the United States will spend more than 4 seconds of his 4-year term thinking about you and your interests and your particular microscopic perspective? Pose the question if you dare. What's in it for him? Why should he care? How could he care, even if he wanted to? He's the master of the universe, fueled by an ocean liner full of $30,000 a plate rubber chicken dinners. carefully laundered gifts from the harems of Saudi Arabia, and a military-industrial complex grown so big that a NATO squadron of conscientious objectors led by Mahatma Gandhi, Buddha, and Jimmy Carter couldn't force a minute of peace on a small island in Antarctica unless the penguins were all smoking weed. You, on the other hand, might just as well be a subatomic particle revolving around one of the more insignificant moons of Jupiter, as unknown and unknowable to the President of the United States as the fleas on his $11,000 poodle, who receives, by the way, much better health care than 90% of the citizens he so proudly serves from his private golf course in Honolulu. Riddle me this. Is it even possible that our duties, not only as American citizens but as sentient animals, might extend to a review of the entire political process from one end of this broken down gravy train to the other? From the K Street lobbyists that script every word that falls mechanically from the Pinocchio mouths of every congressman to the presidential handlers from Cheney to Jarrett, who wind the keys of the executive puppets and type miles and miles of arid pablum into the teleprompter that will tell you what you want to hear, but somehow never quite believe. Is it possible that we have the collective gonads to acknowledge the big, fat, scary elephant in the room? That we, the people, owe the country more than we're paying? In an age where stoned-out Hollywood parasites are heroes, and even Captain America is another overpaid actor with a sodomite agenda and a man crush on Brad Pitt, do we even dare to emulate or even quote real towers of history like Winston Churchill, who offered his blood, his sweat, his toil, his tears in perpetuity to his country, his fellows, his homeland? Do we dare to measure ourselves against our forgotten fathers, the giants we discarded long ago? Probably not. 9 out of 10 Americans under 30 have no idea who Winston Churchill is and can't identify his country of origin on a map. For that matter, the same group can't name their senator, their congressman, or any piece of legislation passed in the last century that didn't have to do with the government giving them something in return for no effort or thought on their parts whatsoever. The fact that they have doomed themselves to unremitting ignorance at a very young age should send a shiver of trepidation through the weak and aimless present generation, preparing to turn the keys to the country over to a generation even weaker and more aimless still. Read it and weep, O children of McDonald's and stone denizens of the Magic Kingdom. There are no more Winston Churchills, no more Teddy Roosevelts, no more Thomas Jeffersons or Desmond Dosses or Audie Murphys or Douglas MacArthurs. Nestled within the morally bankrupt husk of what used to be America the Principled, we are left with only William Jefferson Clinton, Anthony Weiner, and the small sad ghost of Ziggy Stardust. And that, my friends, is why you're all doomed. Have a nice day.